This is a more in-depth look at CeeDee Lamb's 2021 season with the Dallas Cowboys. I released short videos on Twitter and YouTube earlier today. What I'm going to try to do for some of these player studies is release some Twitter-friendly and short YouTube previews, I guess, and then go into the more in-depth film study later on. Seems like some people like the longer style, the longer format, and some people probably prefer a shorter format, couple of minutes long. That's no problem. So we're going to show some of the same few plays in the beginning here. It's going to be the game-winning touchdown pass against the Patriots. They had run this play earlier in the game, they being the Cowboys, and CeeDee Lamb was not the guy running the route. It was someone else. They did not hit this receiver because there was pressure in Dak Prescott's face. They made the adjustment in overtime, hit him on the game-winning touchdown pass. Of course, this celebration was talked about a lot. That's not the point of this video. Look, CeeDee Lamb was clutch on that late fourth quarter drive, I think, to tie the game for the Cowboys there. I think he had 3 catches on that drive that I'm talking about, and then obviously had the game-winning touchdown pass. There's some indication that he's clutch and that he can turn things up to another level when he needs to. Talked about this route, what appears to be press man coverage. The corner doesn't get any hands on CeeDee Lamb down here at the bottom, and then you can see he's even with this DB at the 40-yard line from this outside release, and then he just takes off and leaves him. A little bit of contact. To me, what I think I see is he plays through contact well. Just guys that try to put their hands on him, and it doesn't have a huge impact. Going to show you 2 catches over the middle here. I think this one he's going to catch somewhere in between the hashes here. Great hands. Great throw by Dak Prescott, for real, fitting this in here. And then he appears to thrive in traffic. From what I have seen, the guys that I have watched a ton of film of from 2021, he is one of the main ones who is equally effective outside the bottom of the numbers. So outside the outer thirds of the field, or outer fourths of the field, and then also in the middle of the field. Another in-breaking route underneath of this clear-out route. Great catch, holding on to the football after contact. Of course, he had a great game against the Patriots. I just showed you the game-winning touchdown pass. Interesting talent, if you ask me, and the Cowboys are clearly going all in on him, unless they have some other plan for a number one-ish wide receiver. But CeeDee Lamb, young guy going into his 3rd year, 120 targets, I believe, 79 catches this past year. This one here, for some reason, the Patriots blew this coverage. He breaks open on this little slant that he just sails back to the outside when Dak Prescott extends the play. Cool concept here by them. They've got the outside receiver who's going to be off screen in the beginning. The outside receiver, you can kind of see his shoulders right here. Outside receiver is going to run the under, and then CeeDee Lamb is going to run the delayed, deeper route over the middle of the field. Gets behind linebacker level, and then a great diving catch. I mean, a great diving catch over on the right-hand side. Because the ball is thrown back behind. I shouldn't say behind him, indicating that Dak Prescott threw it poorly. It's not thrown out in front of him for him to go get. So he has to adjust to the football on his backside hip while sliding, to the right-hand side of the screen. That's a very difficult catch to make. There's a lot of guys who drop that football. CeeDee Lamb just isn't one of them. All right, against the Chargers, you're going to get some outbreaking routes here, and this is probably my favorite route that I've seen from him. I'm going to rewind it and let you see it again. He starts to break in like on a post, gets this DB's hips flipped. You can see the DB does a baseball turn, so he turns this way, so that's cool. But we'll bring it back so you can see it again. DB's hips are facing this way, so it wouldn't make any sense if CeeDee Lamb runs this route, this post. It wouldn't make any sense for this DB to try to turn back here. He's going to lose connection with the receiver. He's going to lose alignment. So he's baseball turning this way, which is fine. But then CeeDee Lamb is bringing it back to the sideline. Cool route. Probably my favorite route to see. I'm not a guy, if you watch this channel a lot, I'm not a guy who gets off a whole lot on routes. A lot of it is scheme and coverage and just awareness by the receiver. But look, as he's making this break, Dak Prescott's back on the 12, I think. He's on the 12 here. And Lamb is, again, I mentioned it earlier, I think he does a lot of work out here. He's capable of doing a lot of work. Let me put it that way. He does a lot of work from the bottom of the numbers to the sideline. Great throw, anticipation throw by Dak Prescott. I think he knew where he was going with this football all the way. So not necessarily anticipation throw. I kind of misspoke there. Great route by CeeDee Lamb nonetheless. A lot of separation from that DB. Really, really burned him. Okay, some snag concepts. So instead of him, running anything deep, he's just, now this is just like a little stop, but Snag is normally in here with a flat route by someone else. So that's the concept that I call snag. Other people have different names for it. CeeDee Lamb catches balls underneath. I think he's going to get a massive amount of targets next year unless the Cowboys change something with the dynamic of their receiver core and go get someone else. Another snag concept from the bottom side of the screen, kind of a classic snag concept, the slot, which in this case is a tight end, running the flat route, the shoot route, as some people call it. This linebacker, or what appears to be a linebacker, going out to cover him, creating that open space right here for CeeDee Lamb to fit into. He could do this all day because he's a deep threat and he's fast. I mean, that should be available to him often. The Cowboys seem kind of formation oriented when they run that concept. All right, I talked about this in the short little video that I released earlier Sunday. They put him at running back some, and I'm only going to show you 2 plays. He's capable. He's capable. I mean, he reminds me a little bit of Deebo Samuel from the standpoint of high-level receiver, and then also a guy who can make plays like this out of the backfield. He looks quite natural to me. Nothing there looks forced. I don't know how many snaps he played at running back, but he can do it more. Ultimate weapon, if you ask me, gives you positional versatility playing back there. All right, so then the very next play after that run I just showed you where he's at running back, now he's up here as the X. X is normally opposite the tight end. You got 2 tight ends down here to the bottom side of the screen, so I'm calling him the X. Just a little out-breaking route, a little out curl, I guess, whatever you want to call it. We call it an out curl. Pushing the DB back and then turning back to the sideline. Again, doing work, between the bottom of the numbers and the sideline. Not every receiver is capable of getting open there. Very next play, stacked twins alignment, almost stacked twins. Back's on the other side, so you're not talking about an RPO. If the back was on this side, back's going to cross face. Someone's going to run a snag, and someone's going to run the shoot. It's typically what you would see. Now the back's on the other side, so you get this little under drag by him, creating this space at linebacker level, and he almost scores. I think he's a number 1 receiver. Now he hasn't produced number 1 receiver stats. I think 74 and 79 catches in his first 2 years, 5 touchdowns and 6 touchdowns in his first 2 years. So I believe a total of 11 touchdowns in his first 2 years. But big plays are there. And I think with more targets, he's just going to make more plays like this one. Man-to-man against the Falcons in a bunch set. So just like a post corner fade, really. Some people call it smash fade. Sorry. Some people call it smash fade because you're getting one guy on the shorter out and then him, or whatever you want to call it. In any case, he's beating man-to-man coverage. I know it's against the Falcons, but he beats it. He beats man-to-man coverage against multiple teams. Again, against the Falcons. One thing I've noticed with CeeDee Lamb is when he's the number 3 receiver in trips, which is what the last 2 plays, although the previous play was bunch, they do like these routes, which is similar to the one that he just scored on against the Falcons, and he's going to score here again against Atlanta. Little post-corner fade where the other 2 receivers are running ends. Cool concept. I know there's a lot of criticism about the Cowboys offense, but they're really isolating this guy here, if it is man, which it turns out to be, really isolating him, making him cover all this space out here, and he's just got poor leverage. Poor leverage, but CeeDee Lamb had a 2-way go. So in some cases, I'm going to tell you, I'm impressed. I like their design. What I mean by 2-way go is he could break here, and there's not really any help, in this area for the DB. Or as we've seen already, he could break here and there's no help here because it's man-to-man. And CeeDee Lamb's going to beat this coverage most of the time, if you ask me. I'm sure there's the elite 4 or 5 corners in the NFL going to give him problems in some of these situations. Look, last play I'm going to show you. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I know the player film study videos can hit kind of random. These are guys that I'm watching film of every week and then producing the videos when I can. They like this concept, this little hitch. Now, you can tell here he's not getting the football, but they like this little hitch concept. They've used it multiple times. Sometimes the Cowboys do it where they'll take like 2 of these offensive linemen, and they'll put the 2 offensive linemen out here. Dak Prescott and the running back will be back here with like 2 or 3 offensive linemen. And then they'll put CeeDee Lamb and a tight end on the other side. So they'll do this concept out of what's called, or what I refer to as A11. The A11 offense is pretty much illegal in terms of numerical, but you can do it with linemen out there. They just can't run routes. They can run a bubble. So it's a hitch, or looks like a hitch. Dak Prescott's looking over here. DB's going to break. DB breaks on the ball, and then CeeDee Lamb puts his foot in the ground, and it's over. It's a touchdown. Cool play. I look for big numbers out of him. I'm not a fantasy football guy. I'm sure, hopefully, there'll be some Cowboys fans that watch this and can kind of give me some insight, maybe educate me. If you think he's not a number one receiver, that's cool. If you watch my channel, either of my two YouTube channels, you know that I don't really subscribe to the whole number one receiver thing. There's guys who are going to make plays. There's guys that are going to beat man-to-man coverage and have the savviness to play all over the field. CeeDee Lamb looks like one of them. Really polished receiver. I like watching the guy play football. This was a fun one for me to do, to be honest with you. I would look for, honestly, I would look for him to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 90, 95 plus catches, especially with a 17-game season, so long as the Cowboys have other weapons that can keep all the attention off of him. Let me know what you guys think of this video, the player film study breakdowns in general in the comment section. And if you have any player suggestions, let me know.